Hello, timekeepers. Here's another Decaying Winter Let's Play with commentary. Going over my traits here. Playing Sovereign today. Violent tendencies, impatient, and survivor tend to be my usual kit. Going with the ballistic dagger just for the extra damage from shoves, but I rarely used it in this run. The audio here is being recorded following the gameplay, however I did have my mic on, as you can hear, and I allowed it to capture my keyboard clicks, so I'm hoping that some people can sort of fall asleep to the audio that's going on here, so I hope you all enjoy. I'll chime in whenever something interesting happens. I feel as though I've gotten a lot more twitchy in my gameplay. A lot more movement in general if I'm not doing something specific. And you can especially hear it in my keyboard clicks. Very nice set of starting items here. You can see tier 2 melee, some solid healing. Here I go ahead and throw the throwing axe back to clear up some space to scrap items. Messed up a slide there, but we don't worry about it. To be honest, I still struggle to solo waves on my own. Especially if I'm not running Arbiter or something, which is good for that kind of combat. You can really see me kind of getting lost in the 4v1 here. But once I get a ghost out, it kind of just snowballs in my favor, and this is how the starting waves tend to go. How a lot of waves tend to go, as you'll see.
Warning, now leaving the safe area.
To be honest, I'm not really sure what to do with blue stims, other than just take them during looting so that I have the faster walk speed. I'm sure that they're useful otherwise, but I don't know, I'm not sure like what to do with it.
Warning, now leaving the safe area.
If you remember last time I did a commentated run like this, steel snares are always 100% of the time a scrap for me. They are useful, but 24 scrap is more useful. That's all. So, always an instant scrap. I really just don't give any clearance to steel snares, even in multiplayer lobby, unless I don't have the time to scrap it.
Now entering a safe area.
Fun fact, these are the last tablets that I take for the entirety of the run. I do not find any more tablets at all for the rest of the run.
Alert. Detecting hostiles. Secure. Warning. You are now leaving the safe area.
Baseball bat scavs and a few other scavs, like cleaver scavs, are able to parry you, or attempt to parry you. That's why it's generally a bad idea to go into a melee fight swinging. Especially one-on-one. You should go in parrying first, and then just continue to parry until you get your parry off. Because melee timing between you and the scavs is the exact same, and the time it takes for one parry to go off cooldown is basically the exact same time it takes for one scav to attack you, or for one scav to finish half of their heavy attack. So everything happens on the same timing as parries. So just keep parrying until you get it off. You will eventually do it. Here I am double crafting some KSGs for the ammo. I was a little short on scrap there because I can't count. So I had to go slap a wooden pile around a little bit to get 2 more. But now I have a KSG and a bunch of extra shells for it. If you ask me, the KSG is the second best craftable gun in the game. AKM is better in my opinion, but I like using the KSG more. TF2 and also growing up playing Roadhog in Overwatch has really just made me favor shotguns way more. So that's why I always go KSG given the option. However, I do acknowledge that the AKM is probably the better gun for actual gameplay.
Readings indicate this area is safe. Warning. Hostile forces approaching.
Using the KSG this early in the game is a daring move, I would say, but it is far safer than just raw dogging the wave. So especially if I'm playing solo and there's a little more scrap going around than usual, I usually just kind of run the KSG as my main weapon until I have some ghosts up. but generally I tend to play in public lobbies more. So usually there's an arbiter or something on the team that can help me to take out marked enemies.
Warning. We're exiting the safe area.
The specialist knife is probably my least favorite tier 3, not for any particular reason. I just like using all of the other ones way more. The specialist knife is usually just kind of boring for me if I get it out of a crate. I think the splitting axe is way cooler. I think the, you know, any other... I would have to look at a list to know for sure, but specialist knife comes to mind as probably my least favorite tier 3 weapon. Okay, I looked it up, and yeah, specialist knife is my least favorite tier 3, and splitting axe is my favorite tier 3. So, there you go. You can see me thinking really hard here about whether or not I want to scrap this M14. In the end, I decide to do it because I usually don't think that I have very much need for long-range weapons. Among other guns that I scrapped throughout this run, that was probably one of the things that ended up losing me this run.
Now entering a safe area. Warning. Hostile presence detected.
You can see during this wave, and pretty much every subsequent wave, once I get a few ghosts on the field, I really kind of go in a little hard, a little too hard, I think. Having ghosts on the field does this thing to players in general, I've noticed, where it basically turns them all into aggressive frontliners. Everyone starts to play as if they're the berserker class if there are ghosts on the field, and it makes sense because, you know, you've basically just got a bunch of meat shields out there that are hyper aggressive and will take damage for you. That's perfect. So really everybody is a berserker when there are ghosts on the field, and I love that feeling. Once I got that dynamite from the chest, I really considered whether or not I should try fighting Sledge Queen this run. You can see me during these next few seconds checking what night it is, you know, if it's worth it for me to send it and go on it. I did decide not to because I don't have a reliable way to bait her, but in the future I might honestly take the hologram equipment so that I could hypothetically do it if I wanted to. I almost did it. I would have if I had the holograms on me.
Warning. You are now leaving the safe area. Now entering a safe area. Alert. Detecting hostiles.
During situations and waves where there are a lot of ghosts present, I will try to sort of hide inside of them while I attack any scavs that they're jumping, just in case a scav spawns behind or tries to flank or anything. Just using the big group of them as sort of one big huge shield. The Sovereign perk is very useful in general, just because being able to spawn this many allies during a wave is super useful. And each of them is relatively strong in their own right, with the ability to grapple, as well as do basic attacks too. They are rather strong overall. And you can see that the latter half of the wave basically got cleared single-handedly by them.
Warning. You are now leaving the safe area.
At this point in the game, I'm rather low on infection and was going to go into Outpost, which usually contains more loot. However, looking inside there were at least 2 gun scavs, so I decided to loot Mountain instead. And I did not find any pills. Spoiler alert.
Warning. Elevated virus contamination level detected.
I was trying to avoid this gun scav while I was over here, but you can see I forgot that he was there when I came to craft. Luckily, I had a throwing axe on me, which made short work of him, but it feels like every other wave I get reminded whenever I don't equip the throwing daggers.
You are now entering a safe area.
Here I was ready with my high kappa, however upon seeing a sledgehammer scav, I decided to very quickly swap to my KSG. Now this causes some issues, and after quite a few problems and near-death experiences, I do manage to survive this ordeal. However, it is very close, and I only have time to heal once before more guys come in. That being said, I also immediately bloodlet on accident, therefore getting rid of the health that I healed. Really, this wave was just a disaster. Everything went wrong. Thank you, Sledgehammer Scav. I won't forget you.
Exiting the safe area.
Here I scrap the Nelomorphine, or the orange stim. Its main purpose in normal gameplay is to get rid of morale. It does provide another buff, but that's its main purpose. During solo play, for me, it is an instant scrap, because I have no need to get rid of morale, since I'm playing solo. I also took a blue stim in this clip before I fought that pipe scav, and that was the first time that I've fought someone in melee with it. I knew that it increased your melee swing speed, I just never really acknowledged it as a fact until then. Good to know. In this part, I was about to head home, but there was an AK scav standing there, so I pretty quickly doubled back and went another way. Just in case you didn't know, AK scavs should be avoided at all costs unless you have to kill it for some reason, and if you do have to, you should use a ranged weapon. You should never ever be engaging AK scavs in melee range unless you absolutely have to. In my opinion, the best wave to get Scav War on is Wave 7. I think Wave 6 is too early. Wave 9 is too close to Wave 10 and it uses up too much resources. I think Wave 7 is perfect. Wave 8 is also not bad, but I generally prefer it on Wave 7, of course. And then I get ambushed by a sniper that I wasn't watching for, and I subsequently die because I wasn't looking. Kind of unfortunate, but dying on Scav War is pretty common. Thanks for watching.